Hello everybody, Let's Here for Life here, bringing you guys a new deck profile this time around. It is my Dinomist deck. This deck is so fun to play. The archetype is awesome. It's dinosaur mechs. It's just how cool can you get. I will say this, that if you are not really looking forward to this upcoming format like me, I would really recommend trying out this deck. It is cheap to build. Everything is really easy to get a hold of. The spell cards are kind of harder to pull, which is weird. But for the most part, this deck is super easy to get. Everything is super rare or lower, and super rare is an irrelevant rarity now, thanks to the fact that you get a super rare every single pack. And so I would really recommend trying to build this deck. Even if you have like very little interest in the archetype, give it a try. It's a lot of fun, and it's worth learning how to play it. Now then, onto the deck profile itself. First and foremost, I play 3 Dinomist Rex. Rex is kind of like the boss monster of the deck. He has 2 really good effects that you can add. It's not even a once per turn effect. The fact that his 2 really good effects are not once per turn. And the fact that he is the boss monster deck. He's 2400 to beat stick. With the field spell, he's 27. He can get over most everything. His 2 effects are they both activate after he attacks. The first of which, he gets an additional attack on a second monster. And the other effect is that you shuffle a card in your opponent's hand or on the field back into the deck, and then he gets 100 more attack power. So you can attack, use his effect, attack again, and then use the second effect. Now, each time you use his effect as a monster, he must tribute another Dinomist. That is the only real downside to him, so you gotta kind of have a really good board if you want to do that. But however, because the fact that he can shuffle cards from your opponent's hand after he attacks, just enabling you to get rid of your opponent's hand and wreck their plays for next turn is really, really good, especially if you hit something like a Skulker Bat or something. Now then, all skill 6 Dinomists have the exact same Pendulum effect, which is if it's in the Pendulum zone, you can negate the effect of a card that targets one of your Dinomists and destroy it, then this guy gets destroyed. All skill 3s have a negate destruction effect, which is basically literally the same thing, except it negates destruction. Battle or card effect. And speaking of skill 3s, here is Dinomist Ceratops. I play 3 of him as well. Basically, if you control a Dinomist, you can special summon him. It's kind of weird that he has that. Heck, some of the other level 5 Dinomists have that as well. And I think it's kind of weird that a Pendulum archetype has effects to special summon it from the hand. But however, it does help with unbreaking hands. And he works in conjunction really well with Dinomist Brachion. This guy has a special summon effect for himself as well. Basically, if your opponent controls a monster and you don't control Dinomist Brachion, you can special summon him. It's really good, and so basically what you do, if you have Infinity, it's a first turn Infinity play. You special summon him, overlay, go in Infinity. Sadly, I don't have an Infinity, so you won't be seeing one in this deck profile. If I ever do get a hold of one and I don't sell it right off the bat, I might keep a hold of it just for this deck and for Cyber Dragons, of course, itself. Now then, Dinomist Pateran. I also play 3 of him. You absolutely need this guy. He is the search card. If he kills a monster in battle, you get to search out any Dinomist card. That's not once per turn, and that is just really stupid. Now, he does have to kill a monster in battle, but however, it does not have to be sent to the graveyard. So it works on Pendulum monsters as well, which I feel like is kind of adjusted to power creep, and that is just really awesome. Now, he is only 1800 attack, but however, with the field spell out, he's 21, so he can get over almost anything. Except for a few obvious monsters. Next, I play 3 Dinomist Plesiosaurs. Now, this guy kind of helps out with Dinomist Pateran, and actually, if possible, you want to have both of these guys out on field at the same time. Plesiosaurs says, while he is on the field, all monsters your opponent controls lose 100 attack and defense for each Dinomist card you control. That counts monsters, spells, traps, and Pendulum zones. That is really, really good, and it really helps out with Pateran. Or Terran. I'm not really sure how to say that. I'm a big fan of dinosaurs. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce pterodactyl. I'm guessing the P is silent. Anyways, so this guy is really good. Also, can I just say I love the artwork on all of these things. They look really cool. Next is Dinomist Stegosaur. I play him at 3. Once we get Dinomist Spinos in the next set, I might drop him and replace him with Spinos. But however, Stegosaur is nice because if another Pendulum monster you control battles an opponent's monster, you can destroy both at the end of the battle step, or the damage step, I can't remember which. And that is really good because it helps deal with problem cards. Heck, you can just Pendulum, normal summon him, special summon Ceratops, attack into your opponent's Rafflesia, and then nuke them both. I actually had to do that once. It was very annoying. Now then, I play 2 Master Pendulum to Draco Slayer. Now you're probably wondering, like, why do I play this guy over Luster Pendulum? First and foremost, Luster Pendulum is a scale 5. That is terrible for this deck. This deck has like half of it is level 5, and you can't Pendulum summon out a level 5 while you have a scale 5 out. So he works in conjunction with the scale 3s. Like, let's say you draw him and you draw like Ceratops, and you don't draw any other 3s, but you draw a crap ton of 5s. You're good. Now then, with that being said, this guy, he's not the best. If, like, he's literally just here as a beat stick, and to go into the Luster Pen, this guy, Dinosaur, because this guy is so good. Like, that is literally the only reason. This guy prevents you from getting Wavering Eyes for 4, and that is literally the only reason why I play this guy. That, and also don't have the money for Luster Pendulum. So yeah, I literally just play him for going into Dinosaur, but however, he's a 1950 beat stick and can get over most anything, which is really nice. And then I main deck 2 Maxis. This is just simply to, like, let's say I'm going second and my opponent's going spam crazy. This just helps me get to my combos and everything. It's a really nice card, and I recommend it or Effect Failure as a main deck of 2. Now that's it for the monsters. Next up, I play 3 of the Field Spell. This card is really good. It turns all of your Dinomists into an Armades, and it gives all Dinomists 300 more attack and defense, which is amazing. It really is, because being able to attack and not have to worry about battle traps or monster effects is like such a relief. Not to mention all your monsters get 300 more attack, so that is just really, really awesome. And helps out a lot because even though Rex is the strongest monster in the deck right now, he's only 2400, and this makes him a 2700, and he can get over almost everything. The only thing that he can't get over that like is in the meta right now is Dinosaur in defense or Ignister in attack mode, which is kind of annoying. Next, I play 3 of the Dinomist Charge. This card is borderline broken. Like, if you could activate more than 1 per turn, this thing would be broken. Basically what this does, it's a continuous spell card. Whenever you activate it, you can add any Dinomist monster from your deck to your hand. Also, once per turn, during your player's turn, whenever a Dinomist monster or Pendulum card you control goes into your extra deck, you add it back to your hand. So that is just really good, and it is broken with Wavering Eyes. Okay, oh, I set my 2 cards, my Pendulum Zone, activate this, search, Wavering Eyes, nuke the Pendulum Zones, search, get one of my Pendulums back, and oh hey, look at that, I didn't like neg it all. It's just like, it's so stupid. Next up, I play 3 Upstart Goblin, again to get to my scales faster and get to everything I need. It is really nice. This deck is not really much of an OTK deck, though it can OTK. It is mainly more of a control deck with Rex being able to just get rid of your opponent's hand and making your opponent not want to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Speaking of Wavering Eyes from before, I play 3 Wavering Eyes. It's a mandatory 3 of in every single Pendulum deck, except arguably DDDs. So yeah, you play 3 of it. Not much explanation there. Next, I play 2 MST. I plan on swapping these out for 2 Twin Twister once I can get a hold of them. But however, that's probably not going to happen until maybe this Saturday, I hope. But yeah, good card overall. MST is there for, you know, anti-back row, anti-pendulum, stuff like that. And now then, I'm going to play a total of 6 traps. 3 Dinomist Rush. This card is amazing. You special summon any Dinomist from your deck. It's unaffected by card effects until the end of the turn, and then during the end of the turn it gets destroyed. But however, what is really nice is that if you have Dinomist Charge out, you get it back to your hand, which can help unbrick hands. Like, let's say you have like nothing but skill 3s and you activate, well, then again, okay, yeah, Dinomist Charge. But anyways, my point being is it's a free summon. Now, sadly, you only get 1 of it per turn, but it's still a really good card, and being able to have a Dinomist Rex that's unaffected by everything is very obnoxious for your opponent. I actually did this to try and bait out something. My opponent didn't listen to me or read the card effect, and he tried to bottomless it, and it didn't work out too well for him. And then the other 3 traps I play are 3 Reckless Greeds. Same reason as Upstart, just simply to get to my stuff faster. If you activate at least double Reckless, you should be winning that turn. Unless like you drew nothing but spell cards and like nothing but trap cards or something. You should be able to win that turn. Especially if it's late game, because it is just like, you'll draw everything you need in this deck, and it is just really nice. This deck is super consistent. Now then, on to the X deck. I'm going to say this now. First and foremost, I don't have an Infinity, so don't expect to see either that or Nova in the extra deck. And secondly, this deck rarely goes into its extra deck, so it's really down to personal preference. But however, this is what I personally play. First and foremost, one guy got Cowboy, because, you know, that 800 burn and sometimes that 2500 attack power. Bestower to counter, like, you know, perform mages and stuff. Magister Paladin, the Ascending Draco Slayer. I only really go into him every now and then to unbrick a hand or something. He's really good for the deck. 1 Castel, 101, you know, very common stuff here. 1 Gear Gigant. This deck is all machines, and actually I'm going to say this now. The fact that this deck has access to both of these guys is just really stupid, because I've actually had a time where I went into both of these and got 2 free searches, and then my opponent couldn't kill a Gear Gigant, so I got another search the next turn, and it was awesome. And I also drew into a Dinomist charge that time, but oh well, getting a little bit overhead. 1 Ragna Zero to deal with you know, monster attack and scales and up and down. 1 Karen Gorgon. 1 Darker Bionic Seas Dragon. 104 Masquerade, because he is really good, being able to mill off your opponent's cards and stop monster effects in the battle phase. Okay, now here's a weird one. Number 53, Heart Earth. I've always wanted an excuse to play this card, okay? I'm not gonna lie. And he and Heart Earth Dragon are kind of like my replacements for the very obnoxious Cyber Dragon Nova and Infinity, and so I can get a hold of one of them. I mean, I already have my Novas, so I don't have Infinities. Basically, what Heart Earth does is he needs 3 level 5s to go into, and once per turn, you can detach Exceeds material to prevent him from being destroyed by battle or card effect. And actually, I don't think that's a once per turn effect. But once per turn, if he is attacked, you can make him gain attack equal to that monster's attack points. So he will always be 100 over whatever the first monster that your opponent attacks with. However, that's only once per turn. So then that's where the second effect comes in, where you can save him from being destroyed by battle or card effect by detaching Exceeds material. Now, if he dies while he has no Exceeds material, you can special summon Heart Earth Dragon and then attach this guy to him as an Exceeds material. Now, for those who don't know what Heart Earth Dragon does, is once per turn during the end phase of your opponent's turn, you can detach Exceeds material, banish all cards that your opponent played that turn that are on the field. So all cards they said, all cards they summoned, everything that they played on the field is banished. And then he can't be destroyed in battle. And your opponent takes any battle damage that you would take instead. He's a Yubel. Now, if he dies while he doesn't have an Exceeds material, he can special summon him, and then he gets 1,000 attack times the number of cards banished. So, it's just really good, and I really like this guy a lot. I've always liked Heart Earth Dragon, and I hope for the day that we get a rank 9 spam deck, because I would play it in a heartbeat just so I can go into this guy every day. Because this is honestly my favorite dragon in Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, okay, aside from Blue Eyes. He's my favorite dragon Exceeds, there. 1 number 73, Abyss Splash. This guy, he's an out to Towers if Towers ever comes back. And he is also an out to just general high attack power, high defense monsters. Because this deck has trouble with anything more than 2,700 attack power or 2,700 defense, because Rex can't get over that. Basically, if you guys don't know what he does, is this guy, he's 2,400 attack, he needs 2 waters to go into, level 5. And you detach the Exceeds material, and his attack becomes double. So it becomes 4,800, but any battle damage he inflicts to your opponent at turn is halved. And then his attack resets to normal at the end phase. So he's literally just here to get over stuff, or maybe push for game, like, you know, just generally speaking. And then one number 14, Greedy Samsara. Now what this guy does is he's very interesting. Basically, if you would take effect damage, your opponent takes it instead, if I remember correctly. Yeah, your opponent takes any effect damage you would take instead. And if he kills a monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you can detach its seeds material to destroy all opponent's monsters with attack less than that monster's attack or defense, if I remember right. Yeah, the current attack of that monster that is less than or higher. So he's a 2500, so if you attack something that is like 2400, detaching its seeds material, all monsters with 2400 or lower attack get destroyed, which is really, really awesome. Now, that being said, it also includes your own monsters, so you gotta be careful when you use it. And then one Dinosaur, the Mighty Draco Slayer. Now, I do want to play 2, I'm going to be honest, but I couldn't get a hold of 2 because nobody wanted to trade this stupid thing. So this is my one that I pulled, if I remember right. And so, yeah, that's it. But however, I do intend to probably take out either Abyss Blast or Greedy Samsara for another one. Probably around the time that boss comes out. So guys, that is the deck profile. Tell me what you think, and thank you all for watching. Have a great day, guys. Peace out.